Very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Television. I'm Ashwarya Kapoor with you, and here are this morning's headlines. After BJP picks Ramnath Kovind as a presidential nominee, Prime Minister Modi says he will make an exceptional president. BJD TRS extends support. Congress rules out consensus. Opposition to hold strategy meet on 22nd of June. Darjeeling continues to be on the edge. National Highway 10 from Siliguri to Sikkim blocked. Centre rushes 125 women security personnel to the hills. West Bengal government sends a report to the Home Ministry. Prime Minister Modi to begin two-day visit to Lucknow will be the chief guest at the International Yoga Day event. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to attend as well. Brexit talks begin in the Brussels with the clock ticking. Britain and EU play up chance of a deal before March 2019 deadline. And after thrashing Pakistan, confident India Netherlands scalp in Hockey World League semi-final. India presently top Pool B. Netherlands are placed second. The National Democratic Alliance on Monday announced Bihar Governor Ramnath Kovind as its candidate for the upcoming presidential polls. The decision was taken at the BJP Parliamentary Board meeting in New Delhi. Now, the Biju Janata Dal has announced his party's support to the NDA's presidential candidate choice. BJP President Naveen Patnaik reasoned that Kovind is an eminent lawyer belonging to the scheduled caste community. The Telangana Rashtriya Samiti has also appreciated the NDA's decision. The party said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has chosen a patriot who has always wished good for the nation. The YSR Congress party in Andhra Pradesh has also assured BJP President Amit Shah of its support to Kovind. Now, NDA's ally Shiv Sena is likely to announce its final decision on Ramnath Kovind today. Meanwhile, Kovind has announced to meet leaders of major political parties today and seek their support to emerge as a consensus candidates for the coveted post. He met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and BJP Chief Amit Shah after he arrived in the national capital from Patna on Monday.
Bihar Governor and senior BJP leader Ramnath Kovind will be NDA's candidate for the upcoming presidential election. The BJP Parliamentary Board, the party's highest decision-making body, took the decision on Monday.
NDA के प्रत्याशी के रूप में आज श्री रामनाथ कोविंद गवर्नर बिहार का नाम तय किया गया है। नामांकन की तिथि तो रामनाथ जी से चर्चा कर तय करेंगे, मगर बड़ी जो अभी सोच बनी है 23 तारीख को नामांकन होने की संभावना है।
Shah said the Prime Minister himself apprised Congress President Sonia Gandhi and former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh of the decision. He hoped all parties will support Kovind's candidature.
नाम तय करने से पहले भी हमने देश के सभी राजनीतिक दलों से चर्चा की है। आज नाम तय करने के बाद एनडीए के सभी साथियों को भी सूचना की भी गई है, सूचना हो भी रही है। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने स्वयं कांग्रेस अध्यक्षा श्रीमती सोनिया जी से बात की है।
Meanwhile, in a series of tweets, Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed belief that Kovind will make an exceptional president and continue to be a strong voice for the poor, downtrodden and marginalized. 71-year-old Kovind is a Dalit leader from Kanpur Dihar district in Uttar Pradesh. He was a Rajya Sabha MP for 2 terms. Kovind is likely to file his papers for the presidential poll on June 23rd. The tenure of President Pranab Mukherjee ends on July 24th. The presidential election will be held on July 17th and the counting of votes will take place on July 20th. Pranav Goswami's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the opposition parties have expressed mixed reactions to the NDA's choice for the presidential elections. The Congress party claimed that the BJP's decision was unilateral. However, BSP Chief Mayawati expressed support for Kovind's candidacy, although she expressed reservations about his ideological background. The CPIM leader Sitayam Yechury called the choice a political decision, while Trinamool Congress chief Mamata Banerjee said that there were other noted Dalit leaders. Meanwhile, the opposition parties are meeting on 22nd of June to discuss their options in the upcoming presidential elections.
ये ठीक है कि सरकार ने कुछ लीडरों को और हमारे कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट और मनमोहन सिंह जी को टेलीफोन पे बताया, लेकिन सिर्फ निर्णय करने के बाद सिर्फ नाम बताया तो खाली वो तो निर्णय हो गया, तो उसमें आम सहमति की तो गुंजाइश रही नहीं।
उन्होंने कहा कि हम जब तय करेंगे फिर आपसे सलाह मशवरा करने आएंगे। आज टेलीफोन आता है उनसे ये कहते हुए कि उन्होंने तय कर लिया, तो सलाह मशवरा का गुंजाइश तो छोड़ा नहीं। उन्हीं का प्रस्ताव था कि पहले कि वो जब तय करेंगे फिर वापस आएंगे विपक्ष के पास सलाह मशवरा करने। अब विपक्ष के पास वापस नहीं आए, घोषणा कर दी उन्होंने।
अब अभी तो हम लोगों की भी बैठक होगी, सारे अपोजिशन की बैठक होगी और जो उनकी तरफ से नाम अनाउंस हुआ उस पर, उसके बाद हम लोग भी बैठ के इस पर विचार करेंगे क्या करना क्या नहीं करना।
बीजेपी व इनके एनडीए ने अब इनको राष्ट्रपति पद के लिए अपना उम्मीदवार तय कर लिया है, तो ऐसी स्थिति में इनके दलित होने के नाते इनके प्रति हमारी पार्टी का स्टैंड नकारात्मक तो नहीं हो सकता है, अर्थात सकारात्मक ही रहेगा।
आदर्श रूप में संबंध होना चाहिए, उस प्रकार का संबंध उन्होंने निभाया। इस बात को हम सब हमेशा याद रखेंगे और ये प्रसन्नता की बात है।
On to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today arrive in Lucknow on a two-day visit where he will attend the main event on the International Yoga Day, which will be hosted on Wednesday. Now, he will be the chief guest at the International Yoga Day event at Ramabai Ambedkar Maidan in Lucknow. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will also be participating in the event along with around 55,000 people. On Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call, the UN General Assembly had declared in December 2014 that 21st of June would be observed as International Yoga Day every year. Now, with the farmers' situation in focus, the Punjab government on Monday has announced a total loan waiver of up to 2 lakh rupees of small and marginal farmers and a flat 2 lakh rupees relief for all the marginal farmers irrespective of the loan amount. The announcement has thus paved the way for eventual total waiver of agricultural debt, which was a major poll promise of the Congress party during the Punjab Assembly polls. Now, speaking at the Punjab Assembly, Chief Minister Amarinder Singh noted that the move would benefit around 10.25 lakh farmers, including 8.75 lakh farmers up to 5 acres of land. Meanwhile, the first meeting of the Maharashtra state
total borrowing small and marginal farmers comes to therefore 13 lakhs. Entire crop loan waived 8.75 lakh small and marginal farmers. Total waiver, 100% waiver. And to the remaining 1.5 lakh farmers, we are giving 2 lakhs per farmer. And total number of farmer households covered by debt waivers 10.25 as against 18.50.
Meanwhile, the first meeting of the Maharashtra State Appointed Committee to decide the criteria of farm debt relief remained inconclusive as farmer leaders demanded loan waiver to all the cultivators. They sought changes in the criteria fixed for providing 10,000 rupees initial help. And this was after the Maharashtra government's implementation of initial loan assistance scheme started on Monday with the disbursal of an advance of 10,000 rupees to farmers with the help sowing operations. Meanwhile, unhappy with the Rajasthan government over a handful of farmers' issues in the state, the Bharatiya Kisan Sangh has declared to launch a statewide agitation against the government, following which all the farmers' markets will be shut. They are also demanding a loan waiver for their produce. In Madhya Pradesh, 3 farmers allegedly ended their lives in the past 24 hours due to distress over deaths. Now, this has taken the total number of farmers' suicide in the state since the 8th of June to 15. The Special Tata Court will continue hearing arguments on the quantum of sentence in the 1993 Mumbai blast case. In a Monday's hearing, the court rejected defence lawyers' pleas seeking 2 weeks' time to prepare the arguments, saying that the matter was urgent and could not be adjourned for this long. The court, however, allowed the defence lawyer to examine 3 witnesses for defence of one of the convicts, Firoz Khan. The CBI has asserted that it would argue for extreme punish for all the convicts. Tata Court had last week convicted underworld don Abu Salim and 5 others in connection with the 1993 blast case that had claimed the lives of at least 257 people. On to some other news from the northeast now. In Assam, over 60,000 people are affected in recent surge of water in 6 districts. Now, Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal has reviewed the flood preparedness in Guwahati. He also instructed the deputy commissioners in the aftermath of the floods to reach out to the people there. The Chief Minister further stressed on a timely payment of the ex gratia amount to the families of the flood victims within 48 hours. Now, flood and erosion breached river embankments and also damaged roads in several districts, causing problems in vehicle movements as well. Around 3,000 flood-hit people have taken shelter at 7 relief camps in Sonitpur district. Meanwhile, temperature has dipped in Haryana and Punjab as the rains lashed to many parts of the 2 states. Now, Met Department says that the maximum temperature in Chandigarh settled at 35.5 degrees Celsius, 3 notches below normal. In Punjab, Amritsar was lashed by 20 millimeters of rain and the maximum temperature in the city settled at 36.4 degrees Celsius, 2 notches below normal. In Haryana, Karnal also received light rain and recorded a high of 32.8 degrees Celsius, 5 notches below normal. Also, heavy rains lashed several parts of Uttarakhand, bringing much needed relief to the people. Met Department says that Dehradun received 60 millimeters of rainfall accompanied by winds, which led to a drop of 1 degree in temperature. Now, most places in Nainital, Chamoli, Rudraprayag and Pithoragarh district also received light showers. On to some other news now. The first cargo flight of the Afghanistan-India air freight corridor carrying Afghan goods to India landed in New Delhi on Monday. The cargo flight from Kabul to Delhi was received by External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj along with other dignitaries. The arrival of the flight marked the inauguration of the dedicated air freight corridor between the 2 countries. The flight, which carried 60 tons of cargo from Afghanistan, was flagged off in Kabul by President of Afghanistan Ashraf Ghani. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also thanked Afghan President for the initiative. In a tweet, he said, the direct connectivity between India and Afghanistan will usher in prosperity. The decision to establish an air freight corridor between Afghanistan and India was taken in a meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Afghan President Ashraf Ghani in September 2016 during President Ghani's visit to India.
This is a significant step forward in terms of advancing or enhancing the Afghan-Indian trade. This was the initiative started last year in the backdrop of the Amritsar conference. The whole purpose of the air corridor is to widen the trade between our 2 countries. Of course, this is just the beginning. We are going to expand further. This will be expanded to Afghanistan's other provinces.
And in West Bengal, the situation in the violence-struck Darjeeling Hills continues to be tense as the shutdown enters the 9th day today. The Home Ministry has dispatched a company of 125 women security personnel to help restore peace in the hills. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee meanwhile urged all the concerned parties and the stakeholders to attend an all-party meeting called by the state government on 22nd of June in Siliguri.
The situation in the violence-hit Darjeeling Hills continues to remain tense as the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha sponsored indefinite strike enters 9th day on Tuesday. An uneasy calm and uncertainty prevailed across most of the Hill district on Monday, but the region did witness few incidents of violence. GGM supporters held a march and burnt effigies of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee for rejecting their demand for a separate state. The GGM has called an all-party meeting on Tuesday to discuss the next course of action.
गोरखालैंड के लिए तो सबको बंद होना चाहिए, घर वुर सब बंद होना चाहिए, दिन को भी रात होना चाहिए, तब जाके गोरखालैंड होगा। गोरखालैंड जब तक नहीं होगा हम लोग का दार्जिलिंग ऐसा ही रहेगा।
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee called for peace in the region and asked the protesters not to resort to violence. Banerjee also urged all the concerned parties and stakeholders to attend an all-party meeting called by the state government in Siliguri on 22nd June to discuss the situation. The GJM on Saturday had ruled out any discussion with the West Bengal government.
সারা ভারতবর্ষ সব কাস্ট ক্রিড সব জাতি আছে, সুতরাং এটা ওরা যেটা জাতি দাঙ্গার পথে নিয়ে যাচ্ছে এটা ঠিক হচ্ছে না, কারণ আমার কাছে পাহাড়ি এবং বাঙালির মধ্যে কোনো তফাৎ নেই, আমরা সবাই একসাথে কাজ করি, সুতরাং এটা আগুন দিয়ে খেলা না করে শান্তি রক্ষা করা উচিত বলেই মনে করি।
Protesters also blocked the National Highway 31A and National Highway 10 at some places, blocking the movement of vehicles from Siliguri to Darjeeling. Many tourists were forced to return due to the agitation. Sikkim government has requested the West Bengal counterpart to provide security to vehicles passing through Darjeeling district in view of the GJM agitation.
अब हम जब यहाँ पर आए हैं, दिल्ली हमारा वापसी का परसों का हमारा टिकट है और यहाँ से कोई नीचे सिलीगुड़ी हमें जाना है, कोई सेवा नहीं है, कोई कन्वेंस नहीं है यहाँ पर, तो अब हम लोग परेशान हैं। सुबह 4 बजे से यहाँ पर बैठे हुए हैं।
In view of the growing tension in the region, Home Ministry has dispatched a company of 125 women security personnel to help restore peace in the hills. The West Bengal government has sent a report on the ongoing violence to the Home Ministry and demanded 250 paramilitary personnel. The state government's report is under examination of the ministry. Meanwhile, internet services remained suspended for the second day on Monday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now a look at all the other national developments in nationwide. Nearly 150 cases of chikungunya have been reported in Delhi this year, even as the authorities gear up to combat the outbreak of vector-borne diseases. As per the municipal report, 87 cases of dengue have also been reported till 17th of June, while 8 cases were recorded in the month of May. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has directed the authorities to make a comprehensive plan in the matter, while the civic bodies are keeping a tab on the mosquito breeding in and out of their homes through regular monitoring. The Supreme Court extended Sahara Chief Subroto Roy's parole till 5th of July and also granted him 10 working days to deposit 709.82 crore rupees out of the promised 1,500 crore rupees. Now, a bench comprising Justices Deepak Misra and Ranjan Gogoi considered the submissions of senior advocate Kapil Sibal appearing for Roy that had 790.18 have already been deposited. The CBI team visited Jawaharlal Nehru University to probe the disappearance of Najeeb Ahmed, a student who had gone missing from his hostel on 16th of October 2016. The team spent around 6 hours in the campus to investigate the matter, moreover looking into the allegations of a scuffle between Ahmed and other students in JNU and the circumstances that may have led to his disappearance. We'll take a very short break here. We'll be back with international and sports news. Stay tuned.
Her sword's ray flashed, lightning like, from behind the screen. With a royal blow, she tore away the wheel. She showed her face sun from behind the screen. The lioness showed so much force that brave men bent low before her.
Life and Times of Razia Sultana this week on Talking History on Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, Britain and the European Union began their first formal Brexit negotiations on Monday. At stake, it not just the Britain's future, but also Europe's post-war political order and its place in the world, which could be fatally undermined without an agreement by the 2019 deadline.
Brexit talks began in Brussels on Monday, with British and EU Brexit negotiators agreeing how to organise talks on Britain's divorce. The two sides stressed goodwill but also a tight deadline.
And I've been encouraged by the constructive approach that both sides have taken. We've laid a solid foundation for future discussions with an ambitious but eminently achievable timetable. It was clear from the opening that both of us want to achieve the best possible outcome and the strongest possible partnership, one that works for the UK and for the EU.
EU insists that London must pull out of the bloc in an orderly way. It says the clock was ticking and hence issues must be tackled in priority for what is scheduled to be a two-year negotiation before Britain leaves the EU. The European Union says the negotiations must first focus on three key divorce issues and then move on to the future EU-UK relationship and a possible trade deal. It says it was important to tackle uncertainties caused by Brexit.
Our objective is to agree on the main principles of the key challenges for the UK's withdrawals as soon as possible. This includes citizens' rights, the single financial settlement, and the question of the borders, in particular in Ireland. The European Council, under the chairmanship of the President Tusk, can then decide on whether we can show sufficient progress or not, and we can move to scoping the future relationship on trade and other matters.
The negotiating groups will address issues like citizens' rights, finances and other technical matters which must be resolved to avoid a messy limbo after Brexit. The officials will also take up the issue of possible impact on the open border between Northern Ireland and the Republic. British Prime Minister Theresa May herself will be in Brussels on Thursday and Friday for a regular summit with fellow EU leaders.
Well, I think the whole process will lead to a happy resolution that will, I think, can be done with profit and with honour for both sides, and that's what we're aiming for.
The talks began almost a year to the day after the Britain shocked Europe by voting to cut loose from the 28-nation EU, its biggest market. May officially triggered the two-year Brexit process in March. She then announced fresh elections to give her authority to push through a Brexit deal. But instead, she lost her parliamentary majority, putting that hardline approach in doubt. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
News from London now, and a man from Cardiff is believed to be responsible for the terrorist attack that left one person dead and 11 injured near a mosque in North London. 47-year-old Darren Osborne was driving the van that plowed into a group of worshippers on Monday. The father of four, Osborne is believed to have shouted, "I want to kill all Muslims," before he went on the killing spree in Finsbury Park. Now, Osborne has been held on suspicion of attempted murder and alleged terror offences. Now, his family says that they were shocked and devastated. The Security Minister, Ben Valence, said that the suspect was not known to the security services and was believed to have acted alone. Meanwhile, Britain's Prime Minister Theresa May was heckled during her visit to the North London Mosque. Police Chief Credisa Dick and faith leaders were among those who took part in a vigil on Monday night. It was the fourth terror attack in the UK in 3 months after incidents in Westminster, Manchester and on London Bridge.
We have a number of people in hospital whose lives are turned upside down. We have one person who has died, and as you are aware, a man has been arrested. This was quite clearly an attack on Muslims who looked like they were probably Muslims and they were coming from a prayer meeting. We treat this as a terrorist attack.
This attack behind me on Seven Sisters, the attack in Manchester, the attack on London Bridge, the attack on Westminster Bridge, are all an attack on our shared values of tolerance and freedom and respect. And we will not allow these terrorists to succeed.
More international news now in World Wrap. US student Otto Warmbier, released from detention from North Korea, died on Monday. 22-year-old Warmbier had lapsed into a coma in 2016, shortly after being sentenced to 15 years of prison, including hard labor. His family claims that the deceased was brutalized and terrorized by the Pyongyang government. Syrian forces are advancing further towards the city centre as they press offensive against the Islamic State in Raqqa. The forces have seized a territory to the north, east and west of Raqqa, a city of about 2 lakh people that served as Islamic State base of operations for more than 3 years. Now, IS militants are close to defeat in Raqqa and Mosul, twin capitals of the group's territory. Al-Qaeda-linked jihadist alliance has claimed responsibility for the recent attack in Mali. In a statement, the group, a fusion of jihadist groups with previous links to Al-Qaeda, said that 3 of their martyrs had been killed in an assault on a resort near Mali's capital. 5 people, including members of a European Union mission to the country, were killed and more than 30 were injured in the attack. Qatar has demanded its neighbouring states to lift their blockade of the emirate as a precondition for crisis talks. Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani called measures imposed against Qatar by Saudi Arabia and others as an act of aggression. Earlier in the month of June, Saudi Arabia and its allies had cut all diplomatic ties with Qatar following the accusations on the state for supporting and funding terrorism. On to some sports news. India will take on world number 4, the Netherlands, in their final Pool B match of the Hockey World League semi-finals in London today. India are presently at the top of the Pool B with the 3 wins from as many games. Now, earlier India defeated Scotland 4-1 in the first game, Canada 3-0 in the second game, before demolishing arch rivals Pakistan 7-1 on Sunday. Netherlands, meanwhile, are placed second with 2 wins from 2 games. And the winner of today's match will play the 4th-placed team in the quarterfinals.
Away from danger, and Ali Shan just wants to keep.
More sport action in Sports Beat. Champions Trophy finalists, India maintained number 3 position in the ODI rankings. India opener Rohit Sharma, who scored 123 not out in the semi-final, gained 3 slots to reach the 10th position, while pace bowler Bhuvneshwar Kumar moved up 4 places to join 19th. Jasprit Bumrah also moved up 19 places to the 24th spot. The Indian Wushu team bagged 6 medals, including 2 gold at the BRICS Games in Guangzhou, China. Indian players gave tough competition to Wushu strongholds China and Russia. In the 2 days of Wushu events, the team won 2 gold, 2 silver, and as many bronze medals in the 5-nation event. India will begin campaign in the Australian Open Super Series badminton from today at the Sydney Olympic Park. India's K. Srikanth, who recently won the Indonesian Open, and women's defending champion Saina Nehwal are set to lead the Indian talent, starting with the qualifiers. The Australian Open is the last tournament before the World Championship. Dominic Thiem made it to the second round of Gary Weber Open Tennis in Halle on Monday with a 7-5, 6-3 victory over Germany's M. Marterer. Now, Thiem will next face the winner of the match between Spain's David Ferrer and Dutchman Robin Haas. That's all in this edition of news. Thanks for watching.